my fellow candidates, honored guests, members of the Party of the People, the Democratic Party, thank you for being here. I want to mention my friend Joe Pearson, our man for the Secretary of State. I've campaigned with Joe often, and he deserves our support. We need to put the Secretary of State spot back under the people's control and put control of the license branches under the Secretary of State and not under the discretion of Mitch Daniels. We've got a great state ticket, and they all need our support, and Michael will talk about that here in just a couple of minutes. I saw a bumper sticker the other day. It said, "A working person supporting the Republicans is like a chicken supporting Colonel Sanders." It's not in their best interest. They're asking to have their heads chopped off. You know, that's humorous, but it's also true. Being a congressman, though, is serious business. So to show how smart I am, for the next hour, I'm going to recite from memory many of the greatest documents in American history. I'm kidding. To show how smart I am, I'm only going to talk for about 5 minutes. First, President Bush, saying we are wrong for wanting the troops out of Iraq. He says it is wrong to want them out regardless of the situation on the ground. Mr. President, it is because of the situation on the ground that we want the people out, and it is because of that situation that you created. That is why we want them out now, because there is no plan for victory. There never was a plan for victory, and staying the course is a slogan, not a plan. Start getting our troops out of there now. Secondly, Mr. Bush, I call on you to fire Donald Rumsfeld. I'm not there yet, but I'm almost at the point where if something doesn't happen, I'm going to move into that impeachment camp, because we've got to stop this black hole. I call for the immediate removal of Donald Rumsfeld and an immediate tactical withdrawal of our troops out of Iraq. Third, there is a difference in the mess in Iraq and the war on terror. They are not the same, and we honestly need to focus on stopping terrorism. The best way to do that is to vote Democratic. We know who Osama bin Laden is, and we want him caught, even though in our own President Bush's words, he doesn't worry about him. The president doesn't worry about bin Laden. He thinks things are fine in Iraq. I'm insulted, and I'm concerned about our country and about a possible attack because of this backward attitude. Cut and run indeed. Mr. President, you already cut and ran from bin Laden, as our great hero Max Cleland pointed out. You, my friends sitting out there, you are the leaders. You are the power of this city, this county, this district, and this state. If you want more of the same, do nothing or support Mike Pence, because supporting Mike Pence is the same as supporting George Bush or Mitch Daniels. If you want someone who will vote no against George Bush, I'm standing right here. If you want people who will vote against Mitch Daniels, they are sitting in this room. Dale Lanning, David Sadler, the Honorable Phil Flum, our current candidate for state senate. You, sitting out there, you have that choice. You are the ones that will decide if Bush needs checked, or if you want to give him another rubber stamp in Mike Pence. If you want to make a difference, we will win. You are the leaders, and it is up to you as to what happens. There is another party, the party of greed, the party in power, the party in control of all branches of our federal government. The only people that can be held accountable for everything that has gone wrong. And guess what? That party now knows there are problems. My gosh, the other party finally figured out there are problems. That party knows there is an illegal immigration problem. And it is not immigration that is the problem. It is illegal immigration that is the problem. You are either pro-illegal, as Mr. Pence is, or you're pro-law enforcement, as we are. Now that problem is so huge they cannot help but notice. That party knows there is an energy problem because it is so huge they cannot help but notice. That party now knows there is a problem in Iraq because it is so big they cannot hide it. And that party knows George W. Bush is such a huge problem, they cannot run away from him fast enough. And they will not even start to think about global warming being a problem until their butts are on fire. That's how that party works. They only acknowledge a problem when it is so big they cannot hide it anymore. They create the problems and then seem astonished when the people call attention to the problems. That party has to be held accountable by the people because they are not capable of holding themselves accountable. That is no way to run a government, especially the government of the greatest nation in the world. You should not have to spend all of your time watching the people in control to make certain the problems do not get so big they cannot be solved. We cannot trust the party in power. We have to watch them all the time. That's no way to live, and the only way to change it is with your vote. There are candidates of truth and of justice and of fairness, and they are called Democrats. There is a party that is about prosperity, peace, and people. It is the Democratic Party. There are huge problems in our nation, and the other party, the party responsible for those problems, will not solve them. They will not even try. It's taken 6 years for them to even acknowledge there are problems. How long would it take to actually solve just one of them? When there was a problem with the British, they called the Minutemen. When there was a problem in the Wild West, they called the cavalry. When there was a problem with evil spirits, they called Ghostbusters. And when there's a problem in the government, we call the Democrats. This country is calling you, fellow Democrats. This country is calling you, fellow Democrats. Election day is approaching. Your country needs you. I'm Barry Welsh, and with your help, I'm going to be your next congressman. God bless each and every one of you, and may God have mercy on the United States of America. Thank you.